Hey guys, welcome to another Legacy Enchantress video. This is Spatula of the Ages. Today I'm just going to be doing a regular old MTGO competitive league, running the Witch House, so Living Wish version of Enchantress, with a light white and black splash. A couple of small tweaks to the main deck today. I'm running a singleton Sterling Grove, and I pretty much just got the cast out for that, so the reasoning being to get a better matchup against times where you want to search up the confinement. So that's most often like Eldrazi, Stumpy, or Burn. Some other situations as well. It also can get Doomwake. Those are probably going to be the main targets, as well as the Oblivion Rain effects. So it's probably, well, I don't know if it's worse than cast out against Miracles, for example, or like Grixis Control. It's probably worse against Miracles, obviously, because of Predict. So you have to be careful about when you're going to try to set up with it. It does, give you some protection for your enchantment creatures against like creature removal. So I don't know, we'll see. And I guess it lowers the curve slightly. But I guess it weakens the sneak and show matchup slightly. Obviously, the more overrated effects you have, the better against them. But it's also not like the worst against them because you can go tutor one up. I'm still running the Sylvan Library. I've been liking it pretty well so far. As compared to Mary's Guile, I'm not sure how often one is better than the other. I do think, like in this metagame with so much Grixis Control and Miracles around, that like you're going to get more opportunities, and like also in fact, you're going to get more opportunities in like matchups where you can feel free to use the ability to pay life for cards. Let's see. Okay, so I'm running a third copy of Ground Seal just to shore up the Snapcaster and Life from the Loam matchups. I'm giving you another like random out against Reanimator. Wish board. So the non-wish board is the same. I'm running 2 chokes and a Sealed Primordium. I've been on that for a while. Choke, I think, is definitely your best sideboard card. Sealed Primordium is just really flexible. It comes in a lot of matchups. So I think it's worth that slot. The wish board itself, I wanted to make sure that I had a certain number of turn 2 wish targets. So those are Spore Frog, Karakas, and Tabernacle. There's some redundancy between Spore Frog and Tabernacle. The idea being in like some of those matchups you can side in the Spore Frog as a Great Sun Zenith target that you can also do turn 2, obviously, even actually without obviously Wild Growth, because you just X is 1. That way you have the ability to turn on like Wish and Zenith in the way that we do when we're like sideboarded in either Knight of Autumn or Wickerbow Elder. So we have one as a Wish target, one as a GSE target. Then like, the usual suspect, Scatic, Revoker. Aegis of the Gods has been the, Argothian of course. Aegis of the Gods has been the enchantment creature for a while. Of choice for me. Back in the Deathrite metagame, with so much Delver around, it was Leaf Crown Dread. Just show these. Just for the reach. The Bestow actually came up every once in a while. You could put on like a Doomwake or Eidolon, or even sometimes post board like on Gaddock Teague or something, like against, well, maybe not against a Massacre, but like Pyroclasm or something. But yeah, I think Aegis is better now. There is another option. You could, like against aggro, like an aggro environment, maybe with like a lot of burn or something, or a lot of like Canadian Threshold, you get Nyx Fleece Ram, who like can block like Hoodie Mandrills and Nimble Mongoose, sometimes Goyf, and like block some Death and Taxes creatures and give you a little bit of life as well. Neither is like amazing, like people have mentioned, like because Adris is so fragile, and he is very fragile, obviously. But it does give you some flexibility, like some utility out of the fact that you also need that slot to be like an enchantment when you need to turn Living Wish into an enchantment to keep drawing cards, which does happen. Then like Heliod has been pretty good recently. I've been liking Heliod in the like sort of like anti-grind deck slot, like so against like Grixis Control and Miracles primarily. But he's also like better than like Kamal was in that slot in terms of like being able to come in when you have to do the conversional sideboard against like Death and Taxes, and also the fact that like it doesn't happen that often, but like you do have the option to instant speed activate Doomwing Giant with Heliod in play if they're both out there because Heliod makes enchantment creatures. And then, you know, like Bow Elder, we're still trying Knight of Autumn. I haven't run into too many problems with the white so far, and the life gain has mattered a few times. You know, Doomwing and Emrakul, regular customers. Like, Emrakul I actually might, like, not even play in a real-life tournament, but because of the clock on MTGO, you do really actually need her. Because she does end things quickly. It's also, like, good to have against, like, mid, like, so the alternative would be, like, Kamal, or, like, Kamal Fistacrosa, or maybe, like, Sigarda, Host of Herons, or, like, some other creature that, like, has more utility before you're just ready to win. Which Emrakul generally does not, unless you need to, like, discard her, like, against a, you know, Painter Grindstone deck or something, or, like, sometimes against lands, if they're, like, aggressively Ghost Quartering, you, like, wish for her to discard her and get back all your lands. But, like, generally she doesn't have that much utility before you're ready to win. But, like, against the mid-range combo decks, and especially, like, Big Eldrazi seems popular right now, you do need a sort of, like, just win option, which she is the best at, really. So that's what we're running today. Let's see what we got in Terrence. I can probably shut all this stuff off. Huh? What am I looking for? Goldfish. Sorry, normally I have these things ready to go. Alright, so any changes since last time I checked? No, not especially. Seems like Miracles and Grixis Control are like still duking it out, which is good for us. I mean, I wish this more accurately represented like the random matchups, but until you get a winning record, you also like tend to run into like lots of random stuff, and that's where like the deck can go wrong. Like we tend to have a pretty good matchup against most of the top decks, you know, with the glaring exception of Reanimator, and a reasonably bad matchup against Storm combo. Not as bad as Reanimator in my experience, but it's still pretty bad. You know, before you get to the top tables, you know, it is Legacy, and you can get paired up against people playing random stuff, you know, like Enchantress. So this is a good hand. We've got a turn to Enchantress, Acceleration, Living Wish as backup. So I feel like I've played this person before. Like Bayou GSE into Arbor suggests most likely elves. What's their screen name? Garland. Too far back. Alright, I'm gonna assume it's elves. I guess it doesn't really change your turn one play. But being on the draw against them is pretty bad. I think it's a slightly unfavorable matchup. We can definitely win it out. But it's like probably like 45%. We're really like racing to Doomwing Giant. And you know, they can like randomly go off turn 2 or 3, which, you know, especially if they're on play. You know, the fastest we can get Doomwing on is turn 3, obviously. And that still requires like some things to line up. Like Solitary Confinement and Elephant Grass can generally only stop their like bad hands. The rest of the time it's just sort of like a speed bump. like forcing them to go get a Rex Sage, which like the mana investment. Okay, Savannah. So I guess we're on Maverick then. Okay, yeah. I mean, Doomwave would still be sweet here, to be honest with you. I was gonna say maybe we want to like. So like obviously the first impulse would be to Argothian Sprawl. Yeah, I think we do that. I was thinking like we could Wish instead of the Dimwake, but they could like Rex Age or Utopia Sprawl, and then like that kind of like sets us back. So let's just start like this. They're gonna say black though. Maybe we should set like that. Obviously, we don't have much fodder for the Enchantress right now. Just the Confinement and Wish. We really would like to get. Excuse me, what did they review? Ah, fucking hell. Maybe they're on 4-color Loam. I guess so, right? They don't generally. Oh, wait, they don't have the double black. Nice. Okay. Lucky for us. They will this turn, though. I'm gonna put it on this one because, like, if they have, they could have, they could draw into like an Assassin's Trophy. You would assume. Maybe I should just. I'm like hesitant to play the land because if I draw a Sanctum, I might want to play it. I mean, I know that they'll have the ability to Knight for Wasteland, but I'd rather them honestly do that than Knight for another Black Source and cast Liliana. Although I guess I'll have the ability to have Confinement, so maybe I don't necessarily care as much about Liliana as I was originally thinking. So I could Argothian. I could Sanctum, Argothian, Confinement, but I think it's probably just better to not lose that land to Wasteland. Although, did they miss a land drop? No, they didn't. Right? Did they? How did... They must have missed a land drop at some point. Because they're on the play. I mean, so the point of being, like, if they miss a land drop, then them losing their land is okay by me. I mean, I'm getting a mana bump out of it. No, it's fine. I'll just do it next turn. Save our land drop for this turn. Alright. Yeah, so they're on 4-color Loam, which is it's about 60% for us. The thing that you have to worry about is Liliana, which we know that he has. The good news is Confinement does stop the sacrifice effect as well as the ult. And they can make us discard a card. It's not that big a deal if they do. That's fine. Well, I guess they can still... No, that's right. No, they can also... But I was probably going to let that die anyway, so I'm not necessarily that upset about this, even though they are going to kill my Argothian. But we have more Enchantresses in hand. And they can't use her again this turn. Do I want to just do like... I mean, so we could, without running into a wasteland, we could Argothian, Presence, and Grass. I mean, Grass will like force them to have another removal thing. I mean, that gives us a lot of resources and continues to stack our board. Rather than like going all out for a Doomwake, which will kill these guys. It won't kill the Knight. The Knight will be big enough to attack through the Doomwake. We'll still have the Liliana to worry about. I think I'm going to play like the aggressor. To Sprawl or to Grass? I think to Grass. Put some, pump some brakes into their pressure, or make them deal with it. Whatever, else we would just discard a fetch. So it's going to be hard for them to kill both of these Enchantresses this turn, which means we should have an okay turn. Okay. I was thinking, yeah, I mean, they can do that, but that's kind of okay, because at least they're losing a card for it. They need to also have remove for the Presence. Curious why they're leaving. They didn't attack with Knight. And they didn't use her. So makes you curious what they got going on. Let's start with a Sprawl. I mean, we are sort of setting them up for like Ghost Quarter, but like they'll lose a land, and they're probably gonna want to like end a turn wasteland this thing, so they'd be down 2 lands. So let's see what we got here. We got 8 mana. So yeah, so I guess like the so it's 7 mana to get the Doomwake. That kills these guys. Obviously, it's nowhere near killing Knight. The second enchantment won't do it either, so we might as well put an Abundant Growth on like one of these and draw some cards and see what those cards are going to be before we make a decision and commit to the Doomwake. Because we could also, like, I guess, draw the Doomwake that we have. No? Okay. So now they'll obviously trade the Dryad Arbor for a Wasteland and Waste the Sanctum. Unless I want to get the Maze of Ith to do the Maze of Ith stuff with Knight. But they're serious, obviously, yeah. Gonna get rid of the Arbor and do the thing. Whatever that thing may be. Well, we've got a lot of gas in hand, so it's not too scary. And we do have another Enchantress if somehow they get rid of both of these, which seems unlikely, right? I don't think I want to lose any more life. Got the Abundant Growths and the Utopia Sprawl, so I don't really need the fetch here. So I'll just keep maybe like 2 forests. Yeah, sure. I can't seriously be why they left the mana open, because that could have just attacked with the knight, right? Interesting. It's a lot of Lilianas. Well, I mean, that's fine. Slightly annoying, but it's fine. So, I mean, it's still not lethal, obviously. And now they're down to just, as far as resources go, they're down to Liliana and Knight. And 1 card in hand. And if they want to attack, they've got to tap out. So I don't think we're going to pay for this grass. It's kind of done its job by making them tap out. And obviously, both because we don't have a Sanctum and because it's up to 2 age counters, it is no longer free. And we've got a good bit of gas. So, like, when you're going off, like, you know, these are gas. You know, these are what let you do the nuts things. So, I don't know. Maybe we've got enough gas that we can probably start with the presence. And yeah, okay. So I think we can probably combo out this turn. So I'm gonna, when you do this, you want to like sequentially like put them on bigger and bigger lands. Whereas like if I spread them out here, so basically you just want to optimize your chances of drawing more Wild Growths and more Utopia Sprawls, because those are what are going to get you to like be able to like just like drop the Sanctum and wish for a Emrakul. So you want to, this way I have 4 mana floating, whereas I'd have 3 there. And I don't, obviously my land drop is precious, because I really want it to be the Sanctum. But I also need 1 more green mana, or I need 1 green mana in order to have the wish. So we have 2 floating. I guess there's no reason not to grass, because now we have to put it. We'd have to put it on the Sanctum, so it would have to be a Wild Growth, not a Utopia Sprawl. What are we tapping for here? Okay, we just got it. So it's 17 mana. It's how much you need for Wish plus Emrakul. Okay. We're down to almost, or just under 16 minutes though, so when I'm making these videos I don't always pay as much attention to the time, which is obviously a mistake. Grass is really not great in this matchup. 3 is probably the right number here. Seal is debatable, like they generally run Chalice, even though we didn't see it that time. They also have Mox Diamond, usually. I think they're on white, yeah? Yeah, blue is the color they don't have. So like, you can sort of, there might be a Canonist in the board. Not in this one, but yeah, so we've got these targets, I guess. Library, which is an okay target, Diamond, and Chalice. I think that rather than the Seal, I'd rather have the Wickerbow Elder, both because I can Zenith it, and because it's another thing that can like absorb a, so I actually want Knight. Maybe I want Knight. So like, because they're on the play. So when a Chalice deck is on the play, you generally want Knight of Autumn in the sideboard, because it curves better. You can like turn 2 Wish and turn 3 Knight of Autumn. Whereas Wickerbow, you have to wait a couple turns, especially because you might, if they've got it turn 1, you don't have access to acceleration. The Runes can stay in, the Confinement can stay in. The Grove should stay in, like, both as a tutor and because I expect that, you know, they have Abrupt Decay Enchant. We didn't see Life from the Loam that time, but I'm sure they are on Life from the Loam. Only has a 2. Does it affect other things? I guess it affects Scavenging Ooze, but we don't really care about that. You'd expect them to bring in like Thalia. I guess there's an argument against like mana disruption. You often like take out the wishes when you're on the draw, especially. But I don't think they have quite enough mana disruption to do that. They're more reliant on like Wasteland, which doesn't usually affect us. So I guess I'm running out of time here. Southern Library actually probably could have gone for something else. Maybe Heliod, I don't know. The other like major metagame card that Ground Seal is good against is Postboard against Surgical. I don't know how often 4-color runs Surgical, though. I guess they're on Leyline for their anti-reanimating tech. Well, that's a bad hand. That's a really bad hand. I mean, I've got obviously a lot of like threats, but no mana, and I've got a Sanctum, which both doesn't generate mana and is also super wastelandable. All right, keep it. I don't know if we need the double wish, honestly. I think we'd rather find another land or Utopia Sprawl or Wild Growth. Okay, so obviously, you know, you lead off with your force so you don't get wastelanded while you establish your mana. I mean, like, you're the more mana-hungry deck, and you're also probably the aggressor in this matchup. That's how you should think of yourself. I mean, they can edict me, but that's fine. I've got more threats. So obviously Sanctum doesn't generate mana yet. And I guess we can, well, they're not sitting on lands, including Wasteland, or they would have dropped a land for the turn. But, you know, if they top deck, they could easily drop 2 lands with Confidant, and then, like, drop their Mox, and not miss a land drop, and waste. See, so there's half of what they need. But more likely they're gonna like Liliana here. Oh, that's okay. I'll go through and drew a card. I still have a card in hand. So like card advantage, war wise, we're doing okay. All right. That's a little annoying because now the Sanctum doesn't make mana. So obviously Utopia Sprawl would be a great card to draw here. Oh, there's a Canonist. Right. So I guess Canonist would have been another reason to take out the wishes. But again, I don't know. They don't seem to normally run it. Yeah, like none of these winning lists are running it. But, you know, it's a good card, so reasonable to expect it. So I mean, we do like again. So well, that would make Utopia Sprawl worse, but Fetchland would be great here. Okay, so first they'll Zenith Arbor, and then they will Canonist. Man, Fetchland would be really nice right now. No, not nice. Well, Elfengrass isn't too shabby, honestly. does buy time. We know they're tight on mana. Just continue to play lands, I guess. I guess their Mox Diamond in hand is now useless with the cannon, so we got that going for us. Hot tech, you can totally wish for a Fiction Revoker and play it on a Canonist. I think that's our only target. Sometimes run Painter Servant, but I'm not on that now. It's annoying. Well, I guess I'd rather they had that than I was like, how do they cast anything? Alright, Chalice. It's an artifact, okay. So, under Canonist, you know, it just makes more sense to start paying for the grass when it's more expensive. Nice, alright. We were looking for you, and here you are. It's true that our big boy here does not kill the Canonist, but it kills everything else. So that's nice. And he's also quite a good blocker. So what we're going to do is not pay for the grass. And we're going to Zenith for whichever one we brought in, Wickerbow, I think. Yeah, Wickerbow. And we're going to kill Canonist. Maybe we need to actually hit the knight first. Or maybe if we hit the Canonist, we can then just sort of like try to go off. Because, I mean, we have fewer ways to deal with the knight than with the Canonist, but if we can go off here, the Canonist is more of a threat than the knight is. Yeah, can we actually, if we go off, maybe we can actually kill the knight with Doomwake. So I guess this is mana neutral, and draws. No, it's not mana neutral, right? Because it gets countered. I forgot about that. And then it doesn't activate Doomwake. Well, shoot. That's the opposite of good. Well, that's alright. I'm still going to play this Wild Growth to draw a card. Or to draw 2 cards, I mean. Yeah, that's fine. So... They are resource light though, and if they're going to knight here to wasteland the Sanctum, it does give us, like, I mean, it puts them back another land drop. So we've got cards. I think we're up on the card advantage war, and they miss land drops, which matters, but they do have knight, which is a serious threat, and Chalice, which is quite annoying, especially since it impairs our ability to actually get the Doomwake engine going. Yeah, of course. I gotta get the Sanctum before it gets too big. I mean, so against an edict effect, I think I'd actually rather keep the new make than Argothian. Did I not? Huh. I didn't miss an attack step, did I? Four, five, six, seven. I mean, I could wish here for Doomwake, have double Doomwake, and then next turn be able to kill these bad boys. But in the meantime, I could be looking down lethal damage, especially if they have an edict. And then I'd have to chump block and undo all my hard work. So I think maybe confinement first. I was looking for a Sanctum because I'd like to drop the Grove so they can't just destroy the confinement. Although, maybe they don't have, it's like, not like they can like tutor for it with Knight, a way to destroy the confinement edges. But still, it's not a terribly comfortable situation to be looking down to 7/7 Knights. So I think maybe chump blockers are in order, although they could have Zealous Persecution, which is a thing they sometimes do. I guess library and Zenith? So, I hope they don't have Zealous Persecution, and also that they don't have, like, Abrupt Decay. I mean, if they keep missing land drops, their ability to, like, tutor up Wastelands isn't that scary. Okay, they're just gonna make the Knights bigger. Oh, it looks like Zealous Persecution. No, what is that? Interesting. If only I was running Bajuk. Some big old Knights. It's a big old Dahlia. I think I need to keep this confinement up. Then I'll drop a Grove. I mean, again, they don't have any way of drawing cards right now. So if I can get Argothian and Grove out, that should take them quite a while to answer. So for that reason, I guess I don't. Abundant Grove's my only. I'm good on lands, and I'll probably draw another anyway. So let's get rid of that. That bad boy. Okay, good. Let's just play one of these to draw the cards. Get our land drop. And I guess have Grove up if we need it, like to sack him in. So let's see. We can wish for just Caracas to deal with Natalia and save our Oblivion Rain. There's not that much point in hitting the Knights. Maybe we want to hit the Chalice here, but we can do that with Wicker Bow. Yeah, so we want to start getting some of these obstacles out of the way, though. I guess Knight is like only sort of an obstacle, and they can get Wasteland, but again, they're light on land drops, so I'm not sure it's that much of a concern. And yeah, they do have a finite amount of actual lands in the deck. 6, 7, 8, 8 mana. If we spend 3 of that, we have 5. Then we use Caracas, so we still have 5 mana. That's enough to Wicker Bow, but then we're down to 3 cards. We haven't drawn any. So I think we want to first maybe Wicker Bow. Shit. I only have 7 minutes left. I'm not even paying attention to the fucking time. Alright. I'm gonna speed play here. Maybe talk a little bit less. Okay, so we're gonna Wicker Bow that. And we're gonna go ahead and pay 2 for Chalice. Or, for the Abundant Growth, that's fine. And miss our land drop, I guess. All of our living wishes are in hand, so that's a little odd. Okay. Really just deck cleaning at this point, maybe, and boosting their Knights. We only have 2 enchantments. I think we do discard a Living Wish, even though generally it's not something you want to discard. Interesting. Sure. Since we have confinement out, I think we're probably fine with just the 2 wishes. We'll get, we're gonna get, at some point, we're going to get, oh, well, then we can't, get the Caracas. No, shit. Okay, so we have to O-ring Thalia, which is a little bit of a waste, but whatever. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go off this turn, so we're just going to set up for next turn. You know, they haven't played a Ghost Quarter so far, so I'm just assuming they don't have it. I'm trying to generate as much mana as possible. There. Then we're going to Living Wish. We're going to get Emrakul. So yeah, I think we got this, which is good because we didn't have enough time to go to game 3. Unless they do something wacky. I'm just going to 6 it because I don't have time, and I also have no mana to respond even with Grove. But, you know, I mean, with Confinement and Grove out, it's, you know, a pretty specific set of cards they would need. I also have chump blockers. So, yeah. Please concede. Mate. And he said GG, so, they said GG, so you would assume that they'd be conceding shortly. I mean, fair enough question, honestly. If you're like about to go 5-0, I can understand that. But I did get it. So alright, so we got that one. One down, few to go. Where are we? 4-color Loam. So yeah, I keep track so that you know, I have an objective idea of how this is doing. Although, you know, of course, this doesn't account for like various things like, you know, there's lots of data you can't keep track of, or it will be very difficult to, like, you know, whether these are post-board, pre-board, you know, what the specifics of the list I'm using are, because those are generally for Witch House, but obviously some things impact certain matchups more, even like small deck changes. Yeah, so this is an odd hand. We've got like a lot of disruption. We got 2 Arena effects, and we've got the Wish, which is a little slow because we don't have a turn 2 Enchantress, but we do have acceleration. We got our first 3 land drops, which is like half the battle. I'm gonna go ahead and name green. I can get black if I need to, but generally you don't need it till the mid, and I've got plenty of white. That name is also familiar. I played this person. God, are we on Reanimator? Hopefully it's Stretch. The game has ended. What? on earth just happened? Huh. I guess it's just like... No, I have no idea what that was. Maybe they just like were gambling on drawing a land. That makes you think some sort of like very like gambly deck, right? Like that they would keep a 7-card hand, draw, and then concede. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was the Utopian Sprawl that made them do that, right? Like, unless it's just like a matchup that's so bad for them, which would be like what exactly? Yeah, I'm suspecting like Dredge because it's both those things, very gambly and a pretty bad match for them, and like maybe they just didn't have what it took. Maybe it's Embarkment, although that's less played now. Or maybe it's like Belcher and then you did something, but then like they could still like they still have like at least 2 turns to like get lucky. So obviously this makes sideboarding difficult, so I guess we just won't do that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. They got that going for them. I have no idea what they're doing. Again, so I have no idea if they're on a fast deck. This isn't great. Ground Seal can be okay against Dredge. It obviously stops Dredge return if they're on that plan, but without the Elephant Grass, you know, it's not enough. And we don't have it. We do have Wish for if we figure out what they're playing. I don't know. I guess you keep it. It's not the best hand. Obviously, it's a little slow. Volcanic Island, meaning the fuck plays Volcanic Island and would just scoop like that? You know? I have no idea. Maybe like TES, and they just had the Goblin, the Empty the Warren start, and they figured that wasn't worth the risk. Like that the advantage of avoiding sideboard hate game 2 was better than like the odds of getting around, like getting a bunch of goblins to go lethal against Enchantress. I honestly have no idea. But they don't. Do they run double? I mean, I don't know. They have weird mana bases. The Storm decks have weird mana bases, so it can be hard to tell what you're up against. I have no idea what this person is doing. And they stopped me during my upkeep. But for what end? Like, they just turned that on, right? They weren't stopping us before. So... Man, there's nothing to surgical. Candorm's Enchantress. I don't know what's going on. What is going on? They could be on like Volcanic, like suggest Sneak and Show just statistically, or Grixis Control, but again, Grixis Control would have no reason to keep 7 and then I don't know who the fuck would have reason to keep 7 and then scoop. And again, so if you got to choose between being wastelanded or stifled, that's what I was getting at. They could be running stifle. It's better to be wastelanded because then they lose a land drop too, whereas like here they don't lose a land drop. We could Living Wish for our Gothian. That's probably the right call. We could Ground Seal. We don't know what the fuck they're on. Alright, let's Living Wish. This could be a mistake, I don't know. Because we don't know if we're the control deck or not yet. So, like, sometimes you'd want to keep the Living Wish. You know, obviously if you're like, I don't know, if like a Tabernacle or something, or a Sport Frog, or, you know, if they're on Sneak and Show, like, you know, we could have gotten Knight of Autumn. I don't know. Without that information, like, obviously, So I mean, I do think also like if you are thinking about playing this deck or you've tried the deck before, like I do think like actually like local tournaments are probably a better environment because like Live in Wish has more value if you know what your opponent is playing. Obviously, you can use it more proactively. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're just playing a pile of brainstorms. Let's see if that got stifled. What the fuck are they on? Alright. We are going to start with Sprawl because we got tons of cards in hand and we just need to start getting mana. We're going to have abundant growth in a second. What are you on, mate? I mean, so like, is that, so do you think they're on a fucking, Canadian, right? Is like the only deck that plays Spell Snare? I mean, that's not necessarily true, of course. Anyone can play Spell Snare or Daze. So I guess it's Canadian. What the fuck were they doing last game? So we were right to play around Stifle, I guess, although they could have stifled us then, but then they couldn't have Spell Snared us. Okay, whatever. I think we go for the Eidolon. I mean, they could Daze us, but they can't Spell Pierce or Spell Snare or anything. So I've got to have Daze or Force. And I'm okay with Force, because then they're down 2 cards. I don't know when their threats are going to be coming online. I mean, they could Lightning Bolt, but then we at least got a card out of it. I am so confused about why they kept 7. I guess they don't have Bolt, because they would have end a turn. I'm really confused why Canadian would. Maybe this person's just like drunk, I don't know. Kind of wish I'd named White now. Sort of expecting that abundant growth to resolve. Yeah, generally people don't Daze it. Alright, let's try it. I'll say this can be Spell Pierced, but whatever. I'll probably pay the first upkeep of this. I don't know, I mean, obviously maybe not if they don't drop a... So, okay, so thinking about it now that we have pretty much every reason to suspect that they're on Canadian, we need to be mindful that they could have Winter Orb, which would mean that we want to pile our Utopia Sprawls and Wild Growths on this land here. You know, the, okay. I guess we don't pay for it. They probably just have a bunch of green creatures in hand that they can't cast, is what's up. But we got a lot of mana. But if we ground seal into a presence, we won't be able to cast it. No, whatever. Let's not pay it then. It'd be nice to top deck a choke here. Would be the ideal. Wait, no, I didn't bring in choke. I was thinking, because I didn't know what they were on. Okay, so they probably have Surgical in hand if they're thinking about it. Thinking about hitting those Argothians. So I guess ground seal will be good for that reason as well. What are you doing? So, Surgical here. Try to hit that Argothian. That was a mistake. No, because I need to pile up the sprawls anyway. Right. Missed a lot of land drops. I'm not that worried about Wasteland, honestly. So. I'm going to do it this way so that if they Daze, I can pay it with that mana and still, like, end a turn. Maybe I want to do it now, actually, for stifle reasons. Yeah, that makes sense. Why did I do that then? It might is a serious possibility, but I'll just keep it simple. Alright, so they finally got their green mana. So hopefully we're looking at a Tarmogoyf, because we can get rid of those. Oh, they're on Grixis. Since when does Grixis run spells there? Or Symptomize, I thought that was a Canadian card. Well, Grixis is better, actually, because they don't run anything that I can't answer with Oblivion Rain. Well, I guess they could have True Name. It's weird that they weren't playing that Delver. I'd say Grixis Delver is slightly more favorable than Canadian. Canadian can like sometimes get you. I only play 4 fetches and like I guess 4 or 5 wasteland targets depending on whether I'm allowed to play Invocation or not. MTGO looking at you. Okay, well that is annoying. I guess they could have him if they're on. Obviously, they don't have double black yet, but maybe I should be playing like stacking cards in hand. On the other hand, mana is good because most of their answers are mana based. Still. So we're looking at a 6-turn clock, probably like a 5-turn clock. They probably have a bolt somewhere. I do have the Utopia Sprawl, so like, if I needed to... Yeah, again, I guess I'll start playing around him. I don't know. If I draw another land, I'll play one of them, but... him is something that they might be holding, since we know they've probably got dead cards that they haven't been able to cast. Most likely. Alright, well I guess there's something we have to kill. We're just gonna double their clock. What I don't like about this is I think I have to use all of these, and then if I draw an Enchantress, I don't have the ability to, but I will have the ability to, like, turn a Living Wish into a Dimwag to answer this guy, so that's something. 7, 8. Yes, we'd have 8 mana. So if we get a Wish, that would be good. Or the Dumake itself. Another land. Land doesn't help. I guess it shuffles. For God's sake. But then next turn. Yeah, I guess we need to. We can't pay the extra life because then we're just dead to bolt. So we need to shuffle and have to draw a living Wish or a Dumake. I hope they don't have force. I don't think anything else will stop it. I guess some combination of spell pierces and such. Man, one wonders what they have in hand. That's not going to do it. I guess technically we're not dead yet. They might not have the bolt. It's hard to imagine them not having bolt or a force of will. Either one would be death to us, of course. Okay. Being twisty. Okay. Let's go to the next game. Okay. So Grixis Delver. What's bad against them? What's good against them? Obviously, Choke is good against them. Grass is very good against them. Sterling Grove, not so much. Sylvan Library, not so much either. Ground Seal really only sub-surgical. Aegis is fine as a Wish target, because against them we might also want cheaper ones, because they were, cheap counters, or mana-dependent counters. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards taking out the library. Like, obviously I don't know, that's like taking out a Sword of Threat for a Sword of Threat. Like, on the play, there's a question of, like, on the play, is Grass and Choke and Doomwake enough? Especially, like, with these guys, I guess, actually. Or do we need the confinement? Because the confinement, obviously, maybe on the play we don't really want the confinement. We'd rather, like, think of ourselves as the aggressor. And, like, having Choke makes Grass more of a hard lock than it would be otherwise. And their guys are pretty easy to kill with Doomwake. Sometimes, like, with Canadian, Tarmogoyf is difficult to take down. That's a very not great hand. Got speed, we got grass, which is key, but we're only like drawing an extra card and we have no Enchantress, so writing a lot of land. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and walk into days. I mean, if they got it, they got it. But if you try to play around it all the time, first of all, a lot of them take out like at least one copy on the draw, because on the draw it's not as strong. But also, like, if you just play around days the whole time, you're giving them a free Sphere of Resistance, which isn't, something you want to do generally. They could have an Edict too. I mean, but oh well. Most casualties is double black though, right? I don't think I could do that. I guess I could do that other than sudden whatever demise. Whatever that X spell they did last time. But I mean that's just an edict, effectively. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. Like, it makes Zenith worse. Actually, it makes Zenith pretty bad because I don't hit anything now. But like they are losing a card and not hitting a card in hand, which like tempo does matter in this matchup, of course, but so does card advantage. So I'm sort of inclined. Still got the abundant growth, so I'll just get a basic forest and keep being wasteland proof. And if they lightning bolt Eidolon, I'm also getting card advantage out of that because I drew a card, they spent a card. And if they don't, of course, that's even better. And if they have to use like an edict effect, that's even better. Well, I guess it's not even better. Well, no, I mean, I do actually still have the Argothian with Living Wish, actually, so it is, in fact, better. So, nice. Nice, I got a turn with the Eidolon. I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm going to draw all the cards. Fuck it. Wow, okay. This person has no tolerance for playing against Enchantress. I mean, my draws are pretty weak, actually. Like, I might have lost it, although I was gonna, like, let's see. Probably would have been right to get the Aegis, actually. To, like, I had the Sanctum, right? So I could live in Wish for Aegis, draw the card, be immune to edicts, and also discard, and also march casualties. Maybe their hand was just bad. But they didn't mulligan, so they didn't have did have days, right? No, they didn't have days. They had an edict and surgical. Seems like thin justification for keeping a hand. I mean, you got the angler. Anyway, whatever. It seemed very premature of them to scoop. I got the other one right. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying earlier, it's not a bad time for Enchantress. Depends on, like, so again, well, actually, did I mention this on the last one? I don't know. But, like, there's, like, a difference between what MTG Top 8 says about the metagame and what Goldfish says about it. And I know for a fact they definitely, like, report on different things. Like, it seems like Top 8 reports more live events, and MTGO events get reported more often on Goldfish. But I mean, they agree about like Grixis Control and Miracles being very popular. They disagree on like the extent to which like Big Eldrazi is a thing, or Sneak and Show, or Death and Taxes. But I mean, those are obviously like top decks. So like of the top decks, like the problem matchups are like Reanimator, Ad Nauseam. Sneak and Show is about 50-50, at least for the Living Witch build it is. Omnitell is harder. Obviously, you can't keep an Elite hand. That's a pretty decent hand, even though we don't have a turn 2 Enchantress. We do have a lot of speed. We got Double Wish. I'm a little inclined to excuse me, lead off with Utopia Sprawl White, because we got the Wild Growth in the Forest, and if they're on a Chalice deck, we'll want a Knight of Autumn. So I think we'll lead off with Sprawl White. Genmatsu. That name is also familiar. I don't see. And, I mean, they did mulligan. That doesn't really tell you anything, but Chalice decks do tend to mulligan more than other decks. Do we need that land? Not, I mean, a third land wouldn't be the worst thing, but we'd rather have an Enchantress, honestly. Honestly. So we'll start with white. They're probably like net decking right now. Or not net decking, whatever you call it. Like Googling my list or something. 2 can play that game. No, it's for Legacy. I guess 2 can't play that game. I was wrong about the number of players involved in this game. Oh well. Pluto Delta. Alright. Into Volk. Okay. Delver. Okay. So, either Canadian or Grixis. Generally speaking. Man, honestly, not the worst thing in the world to, like, Wild Growth here. And Oblivion Rain. If they daze it, they daze it. Are they gonna do Force of Will my Wild Growth? And like, if they counter, they can't like Brainstorm set up during their upkeep, or they force, which is even better. Okay, that's fine. But like, now our way is a little clearer for Living Wish to get Argothian. Possibly. I mean, they could have a second daze, of course. Good. Alright, so honestly, it's like basically an entire turn's difference whether they hit that first blind flip or not if they've got a turn 1 Delver, which obviously can be the difference in the game or not. Which, yeah, if you ask me, it's kind of bad card design, but whatever. Just shame, because I actually love the art and like the concept of this card. I just think it's really poorly designed. Like, first of all, it should be red. Like the gambliness feels red. And like, you know, wizards are also a red thing. Like, it's been like pretty established for a while. Preordain. I think that's like a Grixis thing, isn't it? I don't think Canadian runs Preordain. Not generally, no. So we're looking at Grixis, I assume, again. I don't know, man. There's an argument for actually just, well, we definitely have to like start with a Wish. There's an argument for not running the Argothian into the days, which they might have. Because we are going to be kind of dependent on it. We could do it next turn, and then they have to have force for it. We could just double Wish here. If they're on Grixis, Aegis isn't so bad. Against Canadian, Aegis just like eats a lightning bolt, which is also actually not the worst thing in the world, but especially if it cycles in the meantime. But let's see. Yeah, we're gonna double Wish here. What are we gonna get? Gonna daze it? What are we gonna get? So like the thing is, this hand is pretty weak to Force of Will, right? Like if they have a Force of Will, the Argothian eats it, and then I'm left with like a ground seal and whatever I wish for. So I want it to be something useful. Knight of Audium could be okay. I mean, Doomwake would mean like a fetch land would be a sweet draw, or the Bayou obviously, or even like Utopia Sprawl. So there's something to be said for that. Like, so obviously if I draw another Enchantress, that's a good draw. If I draw like most other things, like something in Cycle, an Oblivion Rain effect, the other, or the Banishing Light would be fine. Another Living Witch would be like, okay. But like lands are obviously bad draws, so like Doomwake would turn some lands into good draws, but not obviously basic forests, of which there's still like 8, plus the Sanctums or the Savannah would also just be not great. Whereas like Aegis, probably just like eats like the Fatal Push that could be sitting in their hand. I mean, they haven't Brainstorm, so they're still sitting on dead cards if they got them. It's tough. I think I'm gonna go with Doomwake. Because again, that way, like, fetch lands, Bayou, and Utopia Sprawl all become cards that I'm okay or happy to see rather than unhappy to see. And if I draw another Enchantress, of course, that's gravy as well. Even though I can't cast it right now, obviously. We're playing for the long term here. Hopefully there's no flip. If we get hit 2 in a row, that would be really great for us. Oh, they got the Brainstorm. I guess it's better than getting the Forcible. I'd rather see Brainstorm than Forcible. Still. That's okay. We're looking at a 6-turn clock, 5-turn clock probably. Including like a Lightning Bolt and a fetch land, maybe even a 4-turn clock. I guess you are. Is it? Wait, did we? Put in like. I guess it could be on blue-red actually. Huh. I was like, because Grixis doesn't. Do they normally run a basic island? Not normally. Oh no, okay, like 75% of them run a basic island. Okay. Although, I mean, they drew it, so that does imply, I mean, either they like just happen to draw the one, which is of course possible, but my point being that blue-red Delver is a very real possibility. Wherever the fuck that is. Oh, no, what's that? I like that it like counts these colors when they've got like Fairy Macabre or some shit on the board, Surgical. So clearly it's a black deck. Where's the white even coming from? I counted it as white. Is it because of the fucking Arid Mesa? What? I don't get it. The fuck is Soul Skirmish? Oh, that guy. But my point was, like, obviously, this version would be more likely to have the basic island. This guy's really like giving the namesake to ponder right now. I think this has been at least a single minute just for this one card. It's a real difficult decision. I mean, that sounded more sarcastic than maybe meant to. Like, I guess it is. Okay, so they're on blue-red. Well, the good news there is do they even run, blue-red runs less disruption, right? I'm not making that up. No, maybe they don't. I don't know. Do they? I thought they did. This version, this list doesn't run less. Aquarius. Do they still run Wasteland? Yes. Okay. Non-combat damage. Oh, okay, I got it. It turns like lightning bolts into something that like can kill bigger creatures. So obviously it doesn't matter against us. Do we want to play the Sanctum? Like, I guess we do want this Ground Seal to resolve. I mean, it's not. Doesn't really fucking matter if they daze it. And like, if it's a forest, we can play around Wasteland. Like, because we will maybe want that mana boost at some point. Also, we need to draw another Enchantress. There she is. Ain't she beautiful? Alright, so things we need to draw this turn. A black source or a enchantment. So not a basic forest, basically. Because we can play the presence and then play something to draw into it. But we are looking at probably not an unreasonable clock. They probably have at least one burn spell in hand. What's our record against blue-red? It's closer. Probably just have more like explosive hands sometimes. Okay, that's a good draw. Alright, we are going to use some of this here white mana because we're going to need... shit, maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. If I had done it... No, I don't think there was a way to do it. To do the presence and the deal make this turn. I don't think, right? They missed a land drop, right? So they probably don't have a wasteland. You would assume. I was thinking, like, I also want the green because, like, if I can get a grass, that'd be good. Especially, like, against prowess creatures, you know, grass tends to be good. They have another force. God almighty, don't have another fourth. Obviously, it would have been nice to draw grass there, but this is okay. I mean, like, we're gonna be able to cast Dimwake next turn, even if they have a wasteland, which does seem to run a little against Price of Progress, but I guess that's only a minority of them that run that in the main. They run it on the board, generally. They don't have it this turn. But I guess we need to like find the confinement this turn though. Because we're definitely going to be in burn range if they like untap with double red. Actually, if they like find another red source maybe. Yeah, if they have another red source, they just need like 2 bolts in a hand. Like a bolt. Actually they even no, they do need a bolt. They need or 2 bolts. I was thinking if they could do it with a 4 bolt and a lightning bolt, but they do need they run 4 lightning bolts and some number of them run chain lightning. So they could have it right now, but they're playing a bit slow for somebody that like has it. Because if you have it, it's just like double bolt. Like it's not complicated. Okay, so we got a turn, right? They can't. If they bolt, I go to 2, right? So they can't have it here, right? Unless they don't have Fire Blast. Wouldn't that be something? I don't understand. Well, I guess I do. I was saying like what, or thinking like why this guy ever Monasteries with Spear, but I guess it's like as a way to like deal with bigger creatures, which makes sense. It's probably a problem for this deck. Like their guys aren't very big. Okay, that's fine. That's the problem for next turn. That's it. We are at 6. I guess we could also, like, if we Doomwake, if we get to clear the board with Doomwake, we can also, oh, gosh. I think we actually do need to, Argothian first, because, like, we also need to draw the extra cards. But, like, we don't have much mana to, like, find an answer to bolts to our face. So, we need to get kind of lucky. Maybe they don't have double bolt. We also need to draw a card, I guess. Well, in a way that's good. Unless they have a, do they know what the top deck? Yeah, they did. They brainstormed it and shuffle afterwards. So presumably they're set up for Delver. It could easily be a bolt anyway. They could have just put it on top if their trajectory is for next turn. So what we need to do here is draw Elfin Grass. Elfin Grass actually might not save us. Fudge. So our options are, we're 1 mana shy of Knight of Autumn, which Knight of Autumn would probably have guaranteed us a turn. We've got a Chump Blocker if we need it. I think we have to get Frog here. Yeah, Frog guarantees us a turn, right? Yeah, and they laughed at the Frog. Well, we get to see what they have. I assume they stacked, right? Come on. I mean, maybe they didn't if their only other blue card was whatever the hell they exiled there. No, okay, yeah, it's a bolt. Good old Frog, saving the day. By saving the day, I mean giving us 1 turn to find an answer. We have 1 turn, 1 turn, 1 turn only. Alright. What do we got, ladies and gentlemen? That's a good one. That gets solitary confinement. That's what we were looking for. Well, we know their card in hand. It is Lightning Bolt, so it's not like they got tricks. I wish this thing was like larger so you don't accidentally click on the wrong. There we go. Solitaire. I guess we hit a Delver, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's one of those matchups where banishing light effect, like overrain effects aren't particularly good. I mean, they're okay. Like, if you get it like turn 2 on their turn 1 Delver, that's alright. Like, you know, you can buy a lot of time that way by taking out a turn 1 drop. Alright. I don't even know how many lands are in our hands, which is a lot. Our hand, rather. I don't know, so what's bad here? Like, they probably have Surgical, right? One assumes. They got Flusterstorm and Grafdigger's Cage. So if we were them, what would we take out? Fork Bolt, probably Lavamancer, maybe Soulscar Mage. Oh, they do run a Snapcaster. I didn't know that. Okay, so I guess Ground Seal's not too bad then. Only one. A Braid, obviously, if they're running it. And then, like, what do they have to bring in? Winter Orb, if they got it. Not too much. Surgical, you would assume. Winter Orb. Flusterstorm could be a thing against the actually, maybe this is one of those matchups that's too fast for Living Wish, especially if they're on the play. Yeah, maybe that's a thing that's gonna happen. What do we want? We want the Argothian. We want the chokes, obviously. We also need another kill conditioner, so it's just the one do Mike. That said, we also probably want Aegis. I know Frog saved us, but do we want it as a Zenith target? What's our enchantment count? 16. Probably over Sylvan Library. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 29, 32 enchantments. That's a pretty good enchantment count. We could probably afford to go slightly higher here. Tabernacle could be really good against them, especially with Choke. I think Knight of Autumn is actually probably pretty good, just for the life gain and a blocker. There's another kill condition. Maybe we want the Doomite too. Yeah, maybe the overrain effects aren't that strong, especially if they're on the play. Answering their turn 1 threat is like not great, and they probably have an answer, and it's a lot of mana to invest in something that's just going to spell pierce. Maybe the ground seals just aren't that good. Probably expansion light is better. You know what? I'm gonna go for the Tabernacle play. I'm gonna try it. I don't know. Maybe the ground seal. I don't know. For like 2 surgicals and a Snapcaster. So what I was gonna say is, like, even though it doesn't make mana, or does it? If you abundant growth it. So that sounds pretty dicey, obviously, but I don't know. Tabernacle, especially with double grass, like, that's a lot of taxing effects. Obviously, this can be wastelanded, but if they don't have the wasteland, which is another thing actually that sometimes they might bring out. Probably not all of them, but like sometimes they'll cut to 3. Depends on what their sideboard options are, of course. We could just like start the game off by making them like tap out every turn. I kind of like that. I mean, if they have Wasteland, it's kind of like we both skipped our turn because they also have to like tap out for that. So we're just sort of like resetting. And I'm okay with that, especially because like my hand is Presences and not Argothians. I think I like that. And if they're like, they don't have the Wasteland, or especially if they're like Mana Light, I don't know, maybe I should go for the Wild Growth, though, before they have the days out. Because maybe they've got a basic island in hand. But I don't know, I like the idea of impacting their development this much. What did they do with that preordained? I put one card on the bottom and I drew the card. Do we have anything for that? Just the banishing. I didn't see you on there. Alright, so to reduce the amount of damage this thing is doing, we're gonna have to, unfortunately, we're gonna have to take one from the fetch land. And what we're gonna do here is presence. The next turn, we'll probably abundant growth for the extra card and elephant grass. I really wasn't expecting pillar. That could really turn the game in their favor there. It does make Soul Scar Mage a particularly bad clock, but okay, so we're going to have to grass here. Man, if it weren't for this pillar, we could like presence, abundant growth on the tabernacle, then tap the tabernacle for elephant grass. That'd be really good with tabernacle and grass in play. You know, it's a 3-bound attacks on each attacker. That's pretty good, though. Alright, we got one spell. It seems real unlikely, don't it, that it's going to be enough. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the fuck we could draw here. Yeah, because, like, fucking fetch land. Even if we draw a confinement, we can't play it. If we had Wicker Bow, or Knight of Autumn, actually, would be what we should have here. But we do have Knight of Autumn. Do we? Yes, we do. Okay, so I guess we could draw, so I guess we have to play the grass. Because otherwise we're just dead. And then hope to draw a grass or Knight of Autumn. I guess we can't draw Knight of Autumn, because if we draw Knight of Autumn itself, we can't play it. But if the green sends in for 3, we avoid Pillar. But it doesn't matter, they can just... I think this game's over right now. So they might as well run the clock down. They are at like 7 minutes. Yeah, alright, got it. Oh, okay, so we did have, okay, I forgot that we did bring a Knight of Autumn. So I guess we do have, honestly, like, I don't know if you want to, like, overplan for fucking, Pillar. But Pillar is, like, another reason to bring out Wish. I don't know how many they're running, but, like, obviously Wish is, like, an extra Pillar damage activation versus, so, I don't know, they are kind of threat light. Maybe Luminary is better than I thought. And, like, I don't know, guys, what to do. What should I do? No, that's fine. I mean, I've got, okay, so I've got answers to Pillar. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And they probably don't have more than like 2 of those. I mean, unless it only like, I mean, I don't know. The arena effects are probably, again, better on the play. I probably have enough Enchantress effects here, honestly. 4, 8, 9, 12. I definitely don't want to cut the Grove. I'm pretty sure I don't want to cut the Aegis. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, I'll cut the presents, I guess. I don't know. Okay, that's a very strong hand, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack up. I doubt they're on Winter Orb, since like that sort of like would run into Pillar in certain terms of being like they'd both be the anti-combo sideboard spots. But we're still going to pile up anyway, because we don't want this thing to get wastelanded again. But I don't know. We haven't seen a wasteland, have we? Maybe they're not on it. But we're going to Wild Growth. Then we're going to put a thing on a thing and presents. It might get dazed, but that's okay, because next turn we're playing the other presents. I don't know, maybe it wasn't right to play the turn 1 Tabernacle. I don't know. Like, maybe we wanted to draw out the Swift Spear and then Tabernacle. Like, draw out more creatures in general. I mean. generally like play the basic first because of I mean they could be on price progress for all we know. Okay, first of all, it's fine. Puts us up a card. And that matters not only for like the control element, but also for their ability to like kill us, because like a lot of their threats are like lightning bolt and shit. So like, you know, even though Ponder's obviously not lightning bolt, it has the ability to turn into it, and each card we cost them is not just cards they can't use to counter our shit, it's also cards they can't use to kill us in this particular matchup. Actually, maybe I'm in sort of an awkward spot where I like am tempted to Utopia Sprawl the Bayou, because like I want to tap these to have 1 mana floating, so if Presence resolves, I got the Sprawl, and I want to obviously play it on an untapped land if at all possible. But maybe I just take that chance. Again, we haven't seen Wasteland so far. Maybe they're in a more like Bernie version and they're relying on price of progress, and obviously those two run into each other. You don't want to wasteland the things that are going to provide you with free damage necessarily. Although, you know, obviously they do work well with like days. So who's to say what this person's list is? Not even better, actually. So it does also mean that we're actually saved a little bit from having to put something on the bayou. So we'll just do this. We'll name white because we don't have white, and obviously we want it. So that's a tough one, actually. But they don't have too much pressure right now, and like they didn't play a turn 2 creature, so even though they could easily obviously play a haste creature, obviously there were a lot of those, but they still only have like 3 mana, so like generally, you know, like I'm really not afraid of him killing me this turn. Obviously, I'm at 16. Them killing me, my bad. We got a lot of mana for next turn. We got 3, 6 mana. This is gonna draw 2 cards. Next turn it's gonna be really good. Be pretty sweet if we draw a Tabernacle, especially with the choke. Just a choke in general actually doesn't need too many qualifiers to be good in this situation, does it? Not in this man's humble opinion. Okay. That's not bad either, even though I could just eat a bolt, but again, that's a bolt that doesn't come to the face, which matters, especially with grass on the board. Grass is your best friend against all manner of Delver decks, not to mention Dredge, Dark Depths, lands. Even like Monastery Mentor and whatnot. There's a lot of decks. Grass is like really the card that like really makes the deck viable, honestly. Because you know, you think about it, like you are spending like generally you're spending 2 turns setting up like with Wild Growth and Enchantress on turn 2. And that's like, you know, it's a fast format. Like spending the first 2 turns basically doing nothing isn't like irrelevant, which is why we have such a hard time, obviously, with combo, and why like a lot of people run ley lines on the sideboard. But like grass makes it so that like against the Delver decks, which you know are the majority of the tempo decks, and I mean even against like a fucking Death and Taxes, it's still really good. So I think I do want to play the Argothian first. Because I only draw 2 cards, and I don't have any other enchantments. Sanctum plus choke. Let's go. I guess with this board, Tabernacle ain't looking too sweet as far as draws go. That's annoying. Oh well. We do have Aegis plus grass, so. So that's decent defenses. Obviously, we're going to pay the grass upkeep. You know, if it's 1 mana and we make them spend 2, and we've got more mana than them anyway, obviously that's a pretty easy decision to make. So, they just died. But it saved us 3 life. That's not nothing. If they want to attack, they have to only attack with 1. So, yeah. Not a bad speed bump that we got there from that. We do run into a thing where, like, Banishing Light doesn't really do anything here that grass doesn't already do. So we'll kind of hold on to that if we can. Save it for a pillar, for example. Save the white mana. There we go. There's our ticket. Play around days. Hope they don't have force. There's our choke. If they do have force, though, I don't see them getting their Swift Spears to lethal. We can jump block. I've got enough Enchantresses. Okay. We got it. And yeah, it's the next turn we're going to choke. Obviously, without Wish, you are a little bit more like vulnerable because you just got like the 2 Doomwakes, and we did have the Heliod, but you don't have like too many kill conditions. But like against decks where like choke shuts off their ability to play the game, you're a lot more safer in that situation. I did lose a game recently by like not bringing in extra kill conditions, and my Wishes got surgical because I can't remember what it was. Some deck where like I took out the Doomwake because it didn't do anything. Maybe it was not Big Eldrazi. It was Turbo Deaths, maybe? No, I can't remember. Sneak and Show, I think, actually. Which seems odd, like that they would bring in surgical, honestly, but they're not really supposed to be the control deck in that match. But no, it wasn't Snake and Show because I did bring in Wicker Bow. I can't remember. Alright, so good start, 3-0. So we got our money back, which is good because I'm actually at my last tickets. A few too many experiments. I was trying a more like actually that was on the run where I was trying like a list that was more like Doomwake centric and not like white was just like actually just for Gaddock. So like it's not even, there's no Savannah. But then I got paired against like all the decks that Doomwake does nothing against, like Reanimator, Big Eldrazi, Sneak and Show, rather than like all the Delver decks and Death in Texas and Elves and all those. Risky, risky, risky. We're gonna see a bunch of cards, but we need a second land to play the present. You do have grass. You don't really necessarily have the ability to maintain grass very well. It's a pretty risky hand, but I think it's slightly less risky. I might mulligan that in real life, but I honestly just don't have much faith in the MTGO shuffler. It seems like whenever I mulligan, 2/6, I end up mulliganing into 6 non-land hands and have to mulligan to 5. So there's like no mulligan to 6, it's straight up mulligan to 5. I don't really want to mulligan to 5, I don't think it's that bad a hand. Although it is obviously quite a gamble. So obviously we want to see a land here. Living Wish would be tolerable because we could get a Caracas. Depends on, I guess, what we see from them, of course. If they're on Death and Taxes, we're really fucked. Like a single port would ruin us. Lands, actually. Yeah, they're on lands. Okay. That's a dangerous start from them. It's like, because there's Stone Portal in the graveyard means like Dark Death makes mana, so they could like have a fast, like a turn 2 combo with this hand. We do have grass. We've got Ground Seal if they're on Life from the Loam. They probably get Life from the Loam, which means we turn 2 Ground Seal. Hope to draw land, play Abundant Growth, and then following turn Presence. But the Ground Seal should help us here. You know, I guess they could have Dark Deaths, but I mean they could be getting Dark Deaths, but they almost always get Life from the Loam. It's a fast start though, Exploration and Mox Diamond. So they can't okay, so they can't well no, I was gonna say they couldn't Life from the Loam this turn, so like shut off their ability to get back their Dark Deaths might be a big boon here for us. Hopefully we get a land in these top 2 cards. Alright. I think I am going to oh man. I'm going to prioritize shutting off that Life from the Loam that I think is in their hand over an Enchantress. Obviously, this can be white-slanted, so we would prefer to draw Basic Force, but there we go. Okay. But I was going to say, without the Life from the Loam mention, Wasteland isn't so scary. They're not like getting any like extra value out of it. It's just a 1-for-1. Okay, good. That was a good draw. So because then we can like get Caracas also. So this is a good start. They do have a fast start and probably a dead Life from the Loam in a hand. Yeah, that's okay though. Because I mean, they probably just have like 1 real card. Okay. So we're just gonna Presence here. Get a Basic Forest. Presence. Start drawing cards next turn. Alright, we got a little lucky here. So next turn, we'll Presence Grass. I mean, I guess they could have a crop rotation, then 2. Maybe they didn't get a... I guess there's no reason to be cocky. There could be something I'm not seeing. The Abundant Growth would get us an extra card, and maybe we wouldn't pay upkeep as fast, but it's fine. Yeah, usually game 1 they don't have an answer to Grass. Sometimes they run Explosives main, but not generally. Alright, so sideboard. And Tabernacle's a totally useless card. Doomwake is not very good. So I do run 3 Ground Seals, so even if they are on Surgical, I shouldn't really be afraid. I'm going to bring in Wicker Bow anyway, because even though like main deck, like hitting Exploration actually isn't bad, nor is hitting Mox Diamond necessarily if you can do it early enough, but generally they'll have like Sphere of Resistance, and sometimes also Thorn of Amethyst, where's Alliance deck? Yeah, generally, so this is what their sideboard generally looks like. Oh, Chalice. Yeah, like Sphere of Resistances, and they'll have Crows and Grips. Usually just like a couple. And again, they can't like tutor for them in any way, so like, The Sterling Grove will help with those. So I'm going to have Knight of Autumn as a Living Wish target. Maybe actually I want to take out Living Wish. I mean, like, what do I get with it that's really that great? Like Caracas, but I guess they're taxing effects, and they also have, like, Port. Maybe I actually do want to take out Wish. Maybe it's a liability here. They probably don't have, like, too many answers. Helad can't beat Crows and Grip, so that'll be good. I'll have fewer answers also, like, to creatures. Maybe I want to get Spore Frog as something I can Zenith for to answer an impending Merit Lage. Maybe I want an Emrakul. Maybe I want Emrakul. Maybe I like want a just win factor in this matchup. I also probably want sometimes if they go like one of the paths they can take that can be successful, especially if you have like a slower start, is like an aggressive start with exploration. And then like try to Ghost Quarter you out with Life from the Loam. We are running the 3 ground seals. That'll help with their ability to do that because they can't get back with Life from the Loam. But against that, you do actually want Emrakul, something to like discard and get all your lands back, so they can't just deplete your deck of land, which obviously takes a while for them to do anyway. But then also the just win factor. So I don't know. Rocker might actually be a way to go. Probably just as a wish target. All right, we're gonna Argothian, of course. Shit. Well, not grass, obviously. Maybe over Eidolon, because Eidolon just like gets fucking demolished by Punishing Fire, which they can't take all of them out. They probably reduce the number of Punishing Fires, but they probably take out like Mazavith. Obviously, they could take out Tabernacle. I'll keep that. It's got 1 Enchantress. Again, they don't really have a way to destroy Enchantresses, generally, except for like Crows and Grip on Presence. That's good. Generally, like their scariest starts are turn 1 Exploration. We're gonna go ahead and Utopia Sprawl. If they've got a Port, they're gonna negate it, but that's fine. It's not like they've got like a Vial going. Like they're gonna be slowing down their own development as well. We obviously don't need the blacks. We set it out. And we got a lot of white, so I guess we'll just name green. And we got double white. I don't know, maybe we should have named white. We also got double greens, but that's fine. They didn't set out their Mazavith. That's an odd choice. I'm gonna go ahead and name white. We got a lot of green, like I said. Yay! Okay. I was worried for a second I took out the Banishing Light, but not the Oblivion Ring, because this is a matchup where Oblivion Ring is definitely worse than Banishing Light. Okay, just like that. They were just keeping based on Port. I mean, Port is probably their best card against this. I guess after Sphere of Resistance. Sphere of Resistance is really brutal. Alright, we might 5-0 this one, guys. Let's hope we don't run into Reanimator. But still, like, Mazavith, I would absolutely take out. Like, they just had a weird sideboard that didn't have stuff. Like, often I see them bring in Tracker, which is like a card I almost never care about, but like, it's better than Mazavith, I think, you know. But they got plenty. They got Spheres, Chalice is fine, Drop is fine, because it doesn't target. And it's actually really good at killing Argothians. Even if it's like a 1-for-1, that's still probably better than, you know, a lot of cards they have main deck, like, you know. Like Tabernacle, probably not great. It's really situational. I mean, maybe it's actually fine because you keep it in conjunction with your other mana denial elements and hope that I'm on Argothian rather than Presence, which is reasonable, especially because like 2/3 of the deck are vulnerable to it, or 2/3 of the engine, right? Because like you got Presence, Argothian, and then Green Sun Zenith. So I don't know if you're like just watching this one, you haven't watched any of the others that I've done, the Enchantress videos. Like, the thing that a lot of people in the Enchantress community are excited about right now is Estro's Invocation, a card from Commander 2018. But for some reason, that set won't be legal till sometime in December, even though it came out in like July or August or something, which is a pain in the ass. Like, literally, like, multiple sets have come out between then and been on MTGO. But not Invocation. Even like Battle Bond, which is another one of those like weird sets. It's not like that's like a standard set, like, but this one, no, fuck us. But this card's really cool. Basically, it doesn't necessarily replace Green Sun Zenith. It sort of works in the same role, though. You could run like a combination of them, but like they're both vying for the third Enchantress slot. The strength of Invocation is like one, like I was saying, it like dodges a lot of things. Like, for instance, Tabernacle, but not just that, it also dodges, like, Ethersworn Canonist to a degree, because, like, you're not casting it. So what you do is you, like, copy Abundant Growth, Ground Seal. You can also copy, like, Doomwake Giant or Oblivion Ring. You can copy Presence, but, like, that's not often what I do. Often I'm copying one of those other things. But, like, if it's, like, copying Abundant Growth or Ground Seal, it's, like, a draw engine that doesn't require casting spells, and also isn't vulnerable to creature removal. So you're like less prone to like being like knocked out by like the Liliana or an E-Plague or a Canonist. A lot of hate cards against you. I guess you're open to Reb though. Yeah, so we got to turn to Enchantress. We don't have any other enchantments. We got an awful lot of land. So this is sort of a dicey hand. I really was hoping we'd stop drawing land, to be honest. I'm still gonna like lead with this because they could be on days. We got white, we got black, but we might want to like hold on to the Sanctum. And we also got plenty of green, so let's start with white. Generally, you wouldn't name black until like the mid game because like you only need it for Doomwake, obviously. So some of the invocation lists though, you're playing like more cards like Trial of Ambition or Engineer Plague on the sideboard. Okay, we're on Sneak and Show, or we're against Sneak and Show rather. So against Sneak and Show, the thing is like you're in the role of the control deck. So what I'm worried about here, they didn't show and tell. So like maybe they're gonna end a turn Intuition. We don't know whether they're on Omnitell or Sneak and Show. Like if you see blue lands and like 2-mana lands, you know that they're on some variants. So without knowing which version they're on, Caracas is the most. It's probably gonna deal with the most situations because they could go like Lotus Petal Sneak Attack here. They could go end a turn Intuition. I can't really stop that. And if they like put an Omniscience into play, like I could get Knight of Autumn and have it in hand. But if they go Sneak Attack, then that doesn't do anything. And if they show and tell like an Emrakul, that also doesn't do anything. Like I guess I could Sterling Grove if they show and tell an Emrakul, actually, and then get an Oblivion Ring. I hope they don't have a Force of Will. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. But let's see. So we're not really afraid of dropping our non-basics anymore. That Doomwake doesn't fucking do anything. I don't generally run days, but I guess we might as well play our land. But shit. I was thinking that, like, no, if they just play an Emrakul, we're actually still dead because we. So we should have gotten Caracas and played it. It's hard to tell because, like, you actually have to take kind of like significantly different lines against Omnitell and Sneak and Show, and like what can be good against one of them can do nothing against the other. It's a pain in the ass. I guess I'll assume they're on Sneak and Show because that's the more beatable deck of the two. In which case, we should have dropped Caracas here. We got Knight of Autumn. They're on sneak attack. If they sneak attack this turn, I can't do anything because I use my land drop on Caracas. If they show and tell, Knight of Autumn. Maybe maybe I bait them with the Knight of Autumn so they don't play Omniscience. And I put out the Sterling Grove thinking they'll pull it out like an Emrakul, and then end a turn I get the Oblivion Rain. Maybe that's the way to go. I mean, this is a tense matchup at the best of times. Like, I do think it's about 50-50. Game 1 is probably slightly in their favor, though. Like, Game 2, you bring in Choke, and, like, Wickerbow Elder, and, like, Gaddock Teague against the, against Sneak and Show, but not really against Omnitell. Well, sometimes you do, but it's not as good. And you bring in Emrakul, main deck, which can sometimes get you... Like both be okay, so they're probably on Omnitell because they're more likely to run Intuition, or at least a version running Cunning Wish. Which means you can't really. How many Sneak and Show lists are on Intuition these days? About 2/3, but just one. It's still likely to just be fucking Omnitell. Hopefully they don't have the show and tell in hand. They haven't done any sculpting. Maybe. Alright, no, they can't sculpt. It's an interesting choice. So, I mean, we're gonna just Argothian into Sterling Grove here. We also can't spell Pierce this. I don't know why they would run main deck Chalice, that's so odd. You gonna counterspell? I need to set a stop on my upkeep so that I can use that Grove and get, I don't know. There's your show and tell mana. We just have it. We just have their combo in hand. Do they have the full combo? What have they got? They just have it in hand. That's so lucky. Like, the thing about Omnitell is, like, they do have to assemble a 3-card combo. Sure, they tutored for, like, one aspect of it, but they just had the other 2 in hand ready to go. Like, more, really, because they also need the acceleration. So they just got, like, really lucky, but that's fine. Do they also... Well, see, so, like, post-board, we... Actually, no, they can't, They can't release the ants. Oh, yeah, they can Fireman's Foresight, right. Okay, get another Cunning Wish, a Brainstorm, and an Impulse? Is that enough on its own? Well, I mean, they can, like, obviously a Cunning Wish to stop the, to get, like, a, whatever, Stifle, or whatever, the Trick Bind, whatever. Impulse. Impulse first, see if there's, like, Oh, wait, they can't Brainstorm because they're Chalice. So they can't set up the release the ants kill. What an odd... Like, Chalice is such an odd thing to run in this deck. So obviously they get Trick Bind, and then they've got a random card in hand. I mean, it could be an Emrakul. Maybe they're just that lucky that their own self-defeating deck list didn't matter because they're lucky. But I seriously do not understand this. Like, this is a deck that needs sculpting more than most. and you're just gonna like run the card that stops sculpting. Like that makes sense. Sure. Now you play. Please pay the. Like, and so normally, like, Omniscience, like, even with one card would be a threat because they could just keep cantripping. But now they can't. So I don't get it. Alright, I'm gonna get it over though. You know, obviously, like, so I could get an Enchantress, but, again, I'm the control. I do have Knight of Autumn, and, I think my top deck game's better than theirs because they can't cantrip because of their own Chalice. What an odd fucking choice. I'm definitely gonna let them keep their Chalice. Okay, sure. Well, they're just in top deck mode. I guess it's not the fastest clock in the world, is it? But pretty sure I have more outs than they do. I'm gonna Eidolon here because it'll also double my clock. I guess Eidolon has the downside of my 1-drops not being draws now. But again, my clock is doubled. I think that's pretty relevant. I'm going to shuffle the deck. I think the thinning matters here. I've already gone through so many lands that it's a reasonable percentage of the deck. Okay, or they just top deck, I guess. Enter the Infinite. Does that tell something about their deck list? I don't think they all run that. I mean, how many run that? I don't think I've even actually, like, I mean, I've heard people talk about this, but, I don't think it's very, streamables? When did that get unbanned? Alright, anyway, Enter the Infinite. Oh, they're only running 2 Oracles? Are they even running the, okay. Interesting. Well, I guess that actually makes Gaddock a better, sideboard card. Normally, Gaddock isn't too good against Omnitell, but against this version, it actually does stop several things that they might want to cast with an Omniscience in play. They are, in fact, running a bunch of 1-drops. Well, this version isn't on Chalice, obviously. That's so bizarre. Alright, how do they, oh, they just cast Enter the Infinite again. Right. Okay. And then another Emrakul, right? I guess it only takes 2, right? Obviously. Sure. Right. Okay. So against this version, Grass is not good. Obviously, it doesn't do anything. Ground Seal is just a cycler. I don't really need it. We're probably going to want the tutor aspect of Strong Growth. Doomwick doesn't do anything. Come on. Come on. We're going to want Wickerbow, Choke, Kinetic Teague. Caracas is going to be our primary wish target. We can... There doesn't seem to be anything for Revoker to do here. It does not appear to do anything. We want Emrakul. Knight of Autumn is going to be a witch target. So is Caracas. No, Caracas isn't very good here, actually, right? So, oh yeah, Seal Primordium, obviously. So Knight of Autumn is really going to be a primary witch target. I guess then Caracas is a secondary. The question is, I guess, whether to bring in Aegis. Or whether you want it as a witch target. I think we just want to cast it. Maybe we don't need 4 wishes then, because like it's just really getting Knight of Autumn. And then Caracas, maybe. And we've got like main deck Emrakul, so we don't really need it for the kill condition here. That said, maybe you want it over Argothian. I was thinking like we can take out an Enchantress, but alright, let's try this. Yeah, I'll keep this. Doesn't have too much in the way of disruption, but it does have. They could be like splashing red for Blood Moon. I'd be really surprised, but I'm gonna get a basic forest because I'll have plenty of mana anyway. I'm gonna put the Utopia Sprawl on, and I'm gonna name green rather than the Wild Growth because I'm not afraid of Wasteland, and I can Wild Growth the Sanctum, but I can't put Utopia Sprawl on it. Alright. I think. Let's see. I'll have 1 mana plus 4 mana if I Wild Growth first and then Presence, but I can't do anything with that extra mana, whereas I could, like, I guess, wish for something, but I don't know what. Or I could simply Aegis. I think I might simply Aegis, in which case I might as well put the Wild Growth here. It's not like they can spell pierce this thing. But I want to do it now, I guess, before they untap, because I think they are pretty reliant on intuition. Otherwise, they just have to have all the combo cards in hand, which isn't likely. Tell me I brought in Kinetic Teague. Yes, right, okay. And in case they're on Ancient Tomb, I guess also there could be some benefit to starting the clock early. But certainly, like, I'm in the control role, so like I want to prioritize my attacking over drawing cards. So we can lead off with a Presence. If they force this, I'll probably play the other one. But if they don't, I'll probably just Living Wish for Knight of Autumn, just to have it in hand. So, what to do? We could get Knight of Autumn to have it in hand, but I think we need to start drawing cards. Heliod might be a way to go, because if we flood out, it at least gives us something to do with that mana. I guess Demake is a faster clock without investing as much mana. Yeah, I guess just Demake. I don't think I'd have to like spend next turn investing in Heliod. Can't fucking see past this thing. Alright. Not exactly what we wanted, but can we cast that fucker next turn? I guess it gives us something to show and tell him to play. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana next turn. It's not enough to cast it. Just have it. Tell me they don't just have it. That'd be so lucky. I mean, if it's like last time where they had a pass for a turn, obviously I'm okay with that. But, like, I guess if they have another Cunning Wish, they could set up a, Well, without Brainstorm, they can't really set up a fucking, Release the Ants. They just have to get lucky with it, which I guess they could, but I mean, they only get one shot. They don't have Impulse. Doesn't let you stack your deck in any way. What they got. This is such a weird list. I mean, I guess, like, whatever, I get the theory of having Chalice, like, you know, obviously to, get random games against lots of decks that can't deal with it, but, like, you don't run Brainstorm? That seems like a problem. Is this the same person, actually? Where's the Air is Azerosh? That's not our person, is it? What did they reveal? Intuition. We can't intuition us. Okay, I didn't realize that, I think. Yeah, good old Aegis of the Gods. Yeah, so they went for an intuition, I guess, not realizing. But yeah, so again, it says target opponent, so Aegis of the Gods stops it. Which is also the main reason we left in confinement. Just because like it does stop them, and again, I do think like they've got a 3-card combo. If they get lucky, there's nothing we can really do about it, except maybe like try to catch them with an early choke. But generally speaking, they do rely, I think, on intuition, and that's a way to stop them. I don't know if we need to change anything here. I think we're fine. So this does have turn 2, so we're going to go turn 1 Wild Growth, unless they go turn 1. They go turn 1 Chalice. This is a pretty weak hand to that. You know, for all the trash I've talked about it. But otherwise, we can go turn 1 Wild Growth, and even then we go Argothian, and I don't know, have to draw something. Alright, now turn 1 Chalice. So I go turn 1 Wild Growth. If they don't Chalice this turn, we're gonna Abundant Growth into Gaddock Teague. That seems good against them. Or we just fucking choke. I mean, yeah, we fucking choke. No, we Gaddock. Wild Growth, Argothian Gaddock, and then next turn we can, like, if we draw land, we can Argothian choke, or... I mean, like, they'll just end a turn Impulse. And either way, I think Gaddock kind of, like, stops them pretty much. Like, especially if they're only running 2 Emrakul, they're going to be more reliant on Enter the Infinite or some shit. And they also can't Fire Mind, Hive Sight, or Foresight, whatever the fuck. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. First, we're going to do that. Get our mana going. Obviously, we'll be low on cards, but again, we're the... I think it's more important to, like, get shit online pretty quick, because I'm worried about what they're going to do, not about what I'm going to do as much. So, they got to deal with this, I think. I don't know, maybe they don't got to deal with it, but it seems like it stops a lot of their cards. Obviously, it stops Force of Will. Enter the Infinite. Their ability to cast... yeah, I mean, they could cast Dream House if they're on this version. It's only 5 mana. I guess so, like, they probably are, right? Because that's why you would run Enter the Infinite over Emrakul, right? Because it's a blue card. I would imagine. Alright. That's fine. I'm good with them losing an Omniscience. I doubt they're on Spell Pierce, right? Like with Chalice. So, like, I could do Choke first to play around Spell Pierce, but I just doubt they're on Chalice. I mean, I doubt they're on Spell Pierce, given that they're running Chalice, right? It wouldn't make much sense. But who knows, maybe they're... Intuition for Force of Will? Impulse. Okay. I'm okay with that. If they find it, they lose another card, which makes it even harder for them to combo, and if they don't find it, they lost an island. That said, the fact that I don't have Elephant Grass makes like it so they can still, like, just show and tell the combo out, but it does make their, like, tutoring for it very difficult. I'm just gonna start drawing the free cards. See what we get. It's a good one to get. Right. Let's do that first. Okay, so we're definitely going to want to, let's see. We can idle on and still have Living Wish to get Night of Autumn. You think they're going to Daze? Probably not. Alright, let's have Night of Autumn in hand. Alright. We don't need these lands, obviously. What do you want to guess? Okay, so this turn could be scary. They could still get it here. They need to have a lot of things go. Okay, we got it. We had some really weird games and people scooping in odd situations. But we got a 5-0. I think this was the first one I got on camera. So, pretty sweet. Let's see what we opened. Which is good, because I had a bad run, and I was low on tickets. So let's see what we got. Yeah, that's worth something, right? Maybe. Planeswalkers that are in standard are usually worth something, right? And this one, it's gonna be worth a couple bucks. That's played. I got a bunch of points. That's nice. That's always good. I have no idea if any of these are worth anything. Any legacy uncommons? I like this card. I don't know if it's going to see any play at any point, but that's pretty cool. Alright, I have no idea if any of these are worth anything, but Angel of Serenities. Maybe I'm thinking of like, because like the last time I was active was actually Return to Ravnica, and Angel of Serenity was like a big chaser, and that, yeah, it's not much shit. That's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Well, yeah, I don't know if we're learned on anything. What about Raskin? She worth anything? I'm not gonna lie. I actually like hate planeswalkers. Honestly, I just fucking hate them. Like just conceptually. But a Pirate Gorgon is, you know, kind of hitting my soft spots. I can be done with that. Anyway, whatever. Find out later if any of these are worth anything. Well, you guys aren't watching. Thanks for watching, yeah. What did we learn? This is the wrong deck list and I can't switch. Alright. Come on, deck list. What did we learn? I don't know. It's a pretty standard list for what I run. The extra ground seal, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that was the ground seal I drew against lands, because that could have been a dicey game, except for the fact that they kind of went all in on Life from the Loam. And that gamble hit their dark depths, so like that actually could have gone a bad way if not for that. We never played against Miracles or Grixis Control, so the Snapcasters that generally the ground seals are there for didn't come up. Other choices, the Confinement was good, because like we didn't run into Burn, but we learned to run into UR Delver, which is like 75% the same deck, like maybe not card choice wise, but like strategically. Sylvan Library didn't come up, I guess, but Sterling Grove was good, but again we didn't run into Miracles. We're thinking probably be weaker. However, Wish Sport Frog saved us a game. Good old Frog. And against, you know, a deck with Burn, which like I think people like think you know, that it's gonna be only against like it's best against like Dredge. I'm thinking of Elves, Infect, and like some people like think that like Peacekeeper's just better. I mean, they're kind of like they're both good in certain ways, but like in that matchup, certainly like Peacekeeper would have just like fucking died to Lightning Bolt, and we would have been dead. Spore Frog has the ability that like if they're tapped out and it sees their turn, then they can't stop it from doing its job, which is big. And plus, it's cheaper, and plus you can get it with Green Sun Zenith. So, I mean, you know, even though, like, yeah, Peacekeeper's obviously way better against, like, Emrakul, Like that's really the main use case for it. I think where it's stronger, like against all the other decks, like even like Elves and Dredge, sure, like Peacekeeper like stays around. But most of those decks, like the problem is that they're fast hands. So like a Spore Frog just buys you a turn, and that's usually enough to get like a Confinement or Doomwake going, something. Not always, but you know. Well, thanks for watching, guys.